Welcome to Horrorland, where nightmares come to life.
Alternative dates. Hotel skin of her bones.
Karu Marie O'Donna, Loma Milano Carano.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Shiver Shelf. And I hope you guys are enjoying the month of October, because the story that we're going to look at today really fits this month. Introducing the 11th installment into Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask. The phrase on the front of the Haunted Mask, if looks could kill. 'Cause she ugly. Yeah, she ugly. Oh, yeah. And the phrase on the back, face to face with a nightmare on Elm Street. Now what's this story about? How ugly is Carly Beth's Halloween mask? It's so ugly that it almost scared her little brother to death. So terrifying that even her friends are totally freaked out by it. It's the best Halloween mask ever. It's everything Carly Beth hoped it would be, and more. Maybe too much more. Because Halloween is almost over, and Carly Beth is still wearing that special mask. Let's talk about the cover of this one. On this cover, the first thing you would notice would be, well, the mask. I mean, look at it. It's terrifying. It's got the sharp teeth, it's got a bit of drool down there, its eyes are glowing yellow, and trust me, the show didn't do any more favors for us. But then, as you look in the back, you also see that it's just a little girl holding the mask. And you're just looking at it just like, that? Why would you pick that? Oh child, do not pick that mask. Now, to the story. Okay, this is possibly one of the best stories I have read so far. I mean, I know I've been praising a lot of stories lately, but they've all been really good in a row for some odd reason. But unlike the previous ones, this one literally has almost nothing bad to it. Keyword being almost. Now, our main character, Carly Beth, in this story is actually a bit of a scaredy cat. And I'm not exaggerating on that. Carly Beth gets terrified of everything. And if you were a little bit of a scared kid, you could kind of relate to that. But her friends seem to abuse this. Literally any chance her friends get, they will scare her for no reason whatsoever. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. They don't do it for no reason. They do it because it's funny. Because that just justifies it, doesn't it? And you would think the adults would be like, oh, you kids, knock it off. She's just a bit of a scared girl. Just leave her alone. But no, in one scene in the book, we find that the kids are indeed scaring Carly Beth again, and the teachers are laughing about it. And this all takes place in the middle of a science fair, and the joke is, oh no, one of my tarantulas escaped and it hasn't been defanged. Okay, look, I know there's a time and a place for a joke, but it's not at a science fair, especially when you're a teacher and you're a judge. And it's definitely not when somebody screams that their non-defanged tarantula is on the loose. However, there is actually a lot of good in this story. Carly Beth, despite the fact that she is a bit of a scaredy cat, is actually quite likable. You somewhat relate to her in a way. Because when you think about it, when you're a kid, the first 10 of these stories probably terrified you. So it's kind of nice to have a character who is somewhat in the same boat as you are. And since everybody in the school kind of likes to make fun of Carly Beth for being scared, she decides that she wants to go ahead and get a mask. A mask so terrifying that it'll scare everybody who scared her. So her motivations for getting the mask are actually quite clear and very relatable. And let me tell you, when she gets that mask, it is just described so well. And so are the other masks. Like, R.L. Stine could have really made a series just based off of the masks, but for some odd reason he only did 2, which, to be honest, it's alright. It leaves the masks as a huge mystery. However, whenever Carly Beth puts on the mask, she starts noting changes about herself. Like, she doesn't say, it feels like the mask is taking over my mind. Oh no. But she says that there are points where she just feels angry for no reason, and it It even changes her voice a bit. I guess it makes it into like a really raspy voice that just sounds menacing. The way the book describes it, she says it almost sounds like an animal's growl. And whenever she starts going around scaring people, sometimes on accident, she kind of doesn't feel good about it. She just feels tougher, but not good. And I like how the mask kind of is changing Carly Beth's personality to something totally different, because I feel like it's kind of a message on anonymity. Because throughout the night, most of the adults and even the kids don't know who's under that mask, so it gives Carly Beth a good excuse to just be whatever she wants to be. That includes being a massive jerk. That, and it's not clear if it's really the mask or if it's just Carly Beth doing all these things. But when we find out what the mask really is, it's a pretty good twist, and it still leaves a bit of a mystery. Like, you still want to know more, but the book leaves you with what it's just told you, and you have to interpret it in your own way. And let me tell you, the twist at the end of the story is terrifying. The twist at the end is really terrifying because, like, probably, I think 3 chapters before, it told you conditions of what would happen if someone should find the mask again. And of course, Carly Beth, why didn't you keep your eyes open? Oh my god. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to give The Haunted Mask a solid 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it had very little for me to complain about, and it had a really good story, and the conflict in the story was actually within the character, not outside of them. Like, it wasn't just another monster or anything, it was actually just the character themselves. And when I look back on the Goosebumps show, it's actually really clear why they picked this to be the very first episode. And yeah, knowing Fox, they probably picked it because, hey, it'd be a cheap episode, hey, it's great for Halloween, hey, kids like Goosebumps. But they picked it because it's that Halloween story that you kind of need to hear, and it's also got a really nice message to it. The message that you should really care about who you are and what you have, because you could very easily lose those, and you would absolutely miss them when they're gone. And it also teaches you to love yourself just the way you are at the end, because that's what saves Carly Beth at the end. She admits that she really loved the person that she was, despite the fact she was a scaredy cat, and it saves her from the evil in this story. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but all I can say is that's a pretty powerful message, especially coming from Goosebumps. And trust me, The Haunted Mask isn't the only story that does this either. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Now, if you'll all excuse me, I have to get going, because somebody's gotta scare everybody else, right? Bye.